Hello everybody, welcome back. We are here for round number 8 of the MXBGP Championship in MX Bikes, of course, by the name, MXBGP. We are at a sand track this week. We're at the famous Lommel, or the MXGP of Flanders. Now, B. Clay, Mr. Bradley Clay, our track creator for these GP tracks so far, every single round that we've gone into, he's gone into it with the idea of making it an easier round because he's been pretty savage with the rough so far. However, I'm very pleased to announce that he has finally gone easy on you boys. This is Lommel. It is much, much smoother than last year's Lommel. If anybody remembers last year's, it was probably not many people's favourite track of the year. It was brutal. Not only was it whipped out, but then it had ruts along all of the straights as well, which made it really difficult to move the bike around to try and search for those fast lines and smooth lines. This track, however, much more tame version. So for those of you that aren't usually sand enjoyers on this game, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised about this one. This one definitely feels, I'm not going to say easy, because going fast on any sand track is never easy, but it's much more tameable is the word I think I'll use. So for people that usually have a really hard time with it, I think you're going to find it a lot easier now. But then of course on the flip side, that means the people that are usually quite good on sand tracks will be even better. And the good thing about this, as I have just punched my microphone, I apologise if that came through. The good thing about this track is you have the freedom to move around on the track also. There's always going to be lines I think in sand that are a little bit stronger than others. Anytime you can carry more momentum, it's always going to be a positive. Corners like this, for example, this long sweeper, drifting into this middle here, I think is always going to be most beneficial to you, but that's just the name of the game. There are corners, however, that I think have many viable options. So the corner right before the finish line is very good. It has an inside, middle and outside. I think railing the outside is basically the same speed as checking up and hitting the inside well. And then just after that, there's another right-hander after the finish line. Exactly the same there. There's 3 lines, all 3 feel very equal to me. So I'm hoping it's going to make for some really, really exciting racing, especially as the championship is coming near to a close now. This is round 8 out of 10, so once Lommel is all said and done, we are just going to have only 2 rounds left, which is Uddevalla and might be Arnhem. I have to double check that. I'm probably 100% wrong, but I'm 99% sure one of them is Sweden, Uddevalla, which again, one of my favourite tracks in the game. And I'll be honest, boys and girls and Leylems, I say this every week, I'm really jealous that I'm not racing this track. I mean, there is sand bias in here as well. You all know that I absolutely adore sand in this game. I don't know what it is. I think partly is helped by, I don't know who sent it to me. I don't know where it originally came from, but I have a sand setup on my KTM that just munches the rollers in sand, and I have no idea why or what it is. If I try and use it on a normal outdoors track, you know, where it's got like choppy rough rather than the roller rough that you kind of double and triple your way around the track, it's pretty damn useless. But again, for whatever reason, on the sand tracks, I always bust it out of hibernation, and it does an absolutely amazing job. It worked very well for me at Keegham's earlier in the year when I did actually get to race in the NA series. It done an amazing job for me last year at the Southwick National, like really, really good. And exactly the same here. And I did want to just say, if you stick around to the end of this video, the very final lap I do, as of Mr. Victor Leander's special request, it is my fast lap. So usually I only post my fast laps on Instagram or TikTok. I'm still going to do that, but if you want to hang around to watch the last lap of this also, you'll see my best lap so far in there as well. And I mean, spoilers ahead, there is mistakes in there. I believe it timed out to be a 153.2. B-Clay reckoned I would get from the mid to low 150s, so he was bang on with that, being in the 53s. However, there is a lot of wiggle room there, and as you know, on sand tracks, it's very easy to gain up to an entire second in the length of one straight, all depending on how well you exit the corner prior to that straight. So it wouldn't surprise me again to see the top boys going in about the 151 mark. If anybody gets below a 51, I might have to rethink my career options and if I want to do the outdoor season when the outdoor season starts, which I think is in a week and a half from whenever this goes live. It's not the Friday after this race, it's the Friday after that is when the outdoor starts, and we'll be lining up at Parlour. And if anybody is clued in on the outdoor side of things, if you're in the ARL Discord, you will notice Stone Rider put out an announcement. So I can confirm to you that the tracks are going to be the same team as last year's tracks, which is Stone Rider, JV and Hell Machine. They have different responsibilities and their own roles within that. I'm not sure what part each person is doing, but those are the people that are doing them. And then also he kind of emphasised, he didn't go into too much detail, but in the announcement he emphasised it's going to be rough and rutty, which some people are going to hate, some people are going to love. I'm probably going to love it until I hate it. What I mean by that is I really love the idea in concept because I think it creates the biggest skill gap and makes for the best racing, where you're kind of fighting against the course and each other, not just hot lapping the whole time. But then I'm also going to hate it because I know that I'm going to be down horrendous one race and then keep getting some lovely Barboso physics and the bike just rolls, gets stuck in ruts, so on and so forth. It happens to everybody, and that's not a negative on the tracks at all. That is just purely the way this game goes sometimes. But one thing that I am debating on is what direction I want to go in on the skins for this upcoming season, because I'm fairly confident I'm going to be riding the KTM at this point, just based on initial testing. That could change it. The three candidates I've got it down to is KTM, Yamaha and Fantic. Those are the three that I feel most comfortable on. But I don't want to ride any of them bikes visually, so I might look at trying to get some sort of model swap on the go. And I'm trying to think of what looks really good with a red #1 plate on it, because that's what I'll be lining up on the gate with at round 1. So feel free, give me some input. What do you think is the best looking bike with a red plate? Because some people will say like a Cowie looks really good with red. Some people will say a Honda looks really good with red. I know that I think a Suzuki, for example, looks great with a red plate. Like Kenny's red plate earlier in this year was very, very sexy. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. I'd be very interested to see people's overall opinions. And then I need to reach out to Dashpack and see if he can make stuff happen. Then reach out to BP and get like gear and graphics sorted and all that stuff. Very interesting time of the year so far. So we shall see what happens. But overall, I'm very happy with this track. It's a very easy track just to carry on running laps on, and this is a warning for everybody, as I've punched my microphone for like a third time. This is a warning for everybody in the races. Please put more fuel in your bike. I ran out of fuel very, very quickly just in testing on this track. I definitely didn't crash right there. You saw absolutely nothing. But please put more fuel in your bike. I would even say go for like 9.5 litres in Moto 1, then do a check at the end of that moto to see how much you have left. And then if you had like an entire litre spare, for example, then you can take some more out for Moto 2. But don't be caught short. The worst thing you can do, especially sand tracks are notoriously evil for making bikes run out of fuel. So don't do a cam, don't run out of it in the last corner as you go across the line and then choke at like 16 seconds worth of the lead. You don't want that to happen. Yeah, little Lynn's warning right there. So as we go across the line right here, this is that hot lap, and I'll probably point out some lines. So this corner right here, I was flirting with this tight inside because I like the way that it opens up this next left-hander for you. But again, I think the outside could be just as viable. Triple out of that corner, you kind of double in to the inside, double around it again, but you could just rail the outside and then try and stay even lower over this jump. This inside was a little bit techie for me, like just trying to get the bike upright as you exit that corner, so be careful of that. And then unfortunately in this corner, that far outside did seem to be quite OP in my testing. The inside was a little bit awkward, especially because of the little right-hander after that. Both outside and inside in this turn seem pretty reasonable. You have to be careful on the outside because it's very easy to go over it. It's not as much support there as you would like, which is good because it doesn't make it super OP at all. This next left-hander, either inside or outside, I'm not the biggest fan of the middle. But yeah, if you jump into the inside here and you kind of drift out wide. And this, I think, has always been the trickiest part of this track, no matter what iteration of it we've had is. It's just that little chicane from left to right whilst trying to double your way over bumps. The bike can get a little bit loose sometimes, go a bit light, go wonky on you, but you just need to try and be very, very smooth. Inside or outside there, again, both very equal. And my biggest takeaways, I think, from this track is anytime you can double your way into a corner, as you've seen me try and do multiple times on this lap, you're going to be gaining so much time, so much more than if you're just kind of like slamming and bouncing your way through. You need to actually treat it as a double, and again, like double there, sit down, get the bike cranked over, again here, double up and over that into this one, and it's so smooth when it goes right. but then it's so easy to go wrong as well. As you can see from the left-hand side, it said I was on lap 28 there. And deduct four laps or so from the beginning. So it took me about 24 attempts to actually get a lap that I was happy with. But overall, brilliant track. I'm sure you boys are all going to enjoy it as well. BK's done a really good job also. And good luck in the racing later today.